If you haven't been paying attention to it, yes, Bitcoin in the short term took a little bit of a hit after the spot Bitcoin ETF approval. But since then, it almost is as if we had a fake out breakdown and price is starting to revert. And I'm going to go over that, the short-term price action of the key breakout levels. But what's more interesting is how the whales are actually handling the situation. I'm talking about the billionaires with big dinero, and the TLDR, in case you don't feel like really watching this, is they're getting more bullish than we've ever seen them. So very quickly, Bitcoin currently trading just above 42K, which puts the market cap of old digital gold at 825 billion. Now, in terms of that price action, obviously Bitcoin rip. There was the whole FOMO, buy the rumor, sell the news event with the spot Bitcoin ETF approval. Then it looked as if it was about to break down. The price could not hold the EMA cloud. It could not hold this trend line. And right when things looked a little bit dire, almost like the end of that one season with Game of Thrones and Jon Snow, and I don't want to give away any like spoiler alerts here, but everyone's like, uh-oh, that doesn't seem good. And then we had to wait a year, and then the whole new season started, and we're all like, what? That kind of feels like what's going on right now. So I very much care about Bitcoin holding this level in the short term, 42K, because it's the top of the EMA cloud. But I would argue things get particularly spicy and interesting, if you will, above 43.5K. I think that opens up a door to a reversion of the high 40. So in the short term, if you're an active trader, that's what I'm paying attention to. And if you want to be an active trader, hey, have at it. I wish you the best of luck. Like, obviously, you got to have some sort of solid risk management system, but sometimes it is a little bit easier just to be an investor. But hey, you can make money in a million different ways, and whatever way you choose, I hope you crush it. So let's talk about these whales. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF first to reach 2 billion in assets under management. Do you realize how quickly that happened? In a mere 2 weeks, $2 billion was sent to BlackRock to manage Bitcoin. The fund now holds nearly 50,000 Bitcoin after adding almost another 4.3 thousand tokens on Thursday alone to conclude last week. The BlackRock iShares Bitcoin ETF, IBIT, on Friday became the first of the recently launched spot Bitcoin products to reach 2 billion in assets under management. This doesn't include Grayscale's GBTC, which had nearly 30 billion in assets under management at the time of this conversion from a closed-end fund to a spot ETF. Investors added about 170 million to IBIT on Thursday, with the fund purchasing nearly another 4.3 thousand Bitcoin, and now obviously they're total just below 50,000 Bitcoin. With the price of Bitcoin rising well above 40,000 level early Friday, that brought AUM to just above 2 billion. The next fund to cross 2 billion will be Fidelity's, their Wise Origin Bitcoin fund, the FBTC, which held just shy of 44. So it kind of depends on first, second, third, if you're counting GBTC or not. But really, a lot of people, when they're thinking about numero uno, they're thinking about BlackRock, they're thinking about IBIT, which just crossed 2 billion. And right now in current prices is even higher. And then it seems as if Fidelity's, their spot Bitcoin ETF will be crossing that threshold pretty soon. I wouldn't be so surprised if like one of these days, a couple months down the line, I'm talking about it having 5 billion in assets under management. I think that's very, very possible this calendar year. I know it's a little bit of an optimistic, bullish prediction, but I just really wouldn't be taken by surprise if that happens. And you know who else won't be taken by surprise? These massive Bitcoin billionaire whales. Bitcoin whales boosted CoinStash by 3 billion in January. While Bitcoin ETFs have experienced net inflows of 820 million, Bitcoin whales increased holdings by about 3 billion this year alone. Folks, we're not even done with the month of January. Crypto whales, or large investors, have accumulated $3 billion worth of BTC. The amount of Bitcoin held in wallets owning over 1,000 Bitcoin has increased by roughly 76,000 Bitcoin to nearly 7.8 million Bitcoin. While Bitcoin ETFs have seen net inflows of 820 million USD, Bitcoin whales have seen an increase of 3 billion USD so far in 2024. So this blue line is the whales, and you can really see ever since the start of this year, they have been averaging in dollar cost averaging, DCA, and they hold and hold and hold. What's really interesting about this metric is not only are they getting arguably financially more bullish on this by the amount of money they're putting into it, but we can also see that just from their duration of holding, these are people who acquire, and never are giving it back. They're just holding Bitcoin, which is, I guess, another way to look at the bullishness of the situation. Several observers and investment banks, including Standard Chartered, expect the recently launched ETF pull billions of dollars into investments, lifting the cryptocurrency's market cap to 100,000 USD by the end of 2024. Now, for those of you who care about the Gregorian calendar, we're in 2024. As in, the prediction by Standard Chartered by the end of this year is 100K. If you look at what's going on with ARK Invest, a couple years down, their base case is 600,000, and then looking at a bull case of over $1 million. That's, I believe, for the end of 2025. There's a lot of good reason to be excited, and a lot of people are putting their money where their mouth is. But just to be as balanced as I possibly can, I want to let you know that not everyone is necessarily absurdly bullish. Obviously, there's some curmudgeons out there like Jim Cramer, like Peter Schiff, but even some people who are actually supportive of Bitcoin in the short term, like, maybe a bit more of a pullback is necessary. Bitcoin could fall back to the mid $20,000 area. The former crypto lead at Cathie Wood's ARK Invest remains bullish over the long term. The local bottom for Bitcoin has yet to be hit, according to Chris Berniski, partner of venture capital firm Placeholder and former crypto lead to ARK Invest. He said the price dropping to at least $30,000 to $36,000 range. Wouldn't be surprised a mid-high 20,000 area were tested prior to an eventual move towards all-time highs. As always, patience is your friend. The path to get there will be volatile, expect fakeouts, and will take months to play out. While the long-term trend, quote-unquote, remains robust, he added, we also see many of our first parabolas of the cycle, and they're now breaking. Macro looks precarious on a number of levels. New product innovations are close, but not quite there yet. Things still feel insular. Never said I'm majorly de-risking, more just counting my bullets and sharpening my blade. What he's saying is, hey, there could be some craziness. In the short term, don't be so surprised if there's a hit. And if there is a hit, it sounds like he's more than prepared to be loading up in that situation. In my personal assumption, and once again, this is just my prediction, so take it with a grain of salt, I actually don't think Bitcoin's ever going to dip back into the 20,000s again. I think right now, with the new regulatory clarity, with the establishment of these ETFs, and really just with the exposure that the quote unquote average person now has to it, I think there is a higher odds situation than not that it never dips into the 20,000 region again. Obviously, this is just a prediction. I'm not a fortune teller, but I think we've actually created a super strong base in the mid 30s, and maybe that's revisited. But if anything, I think there's a better chance of bouncing off of that, especially as we continue to get this type of bullish momentum. Now, I've attempted to actively trade crypto in the past, but for me personally, I've had more success just holding it. But recently, a lot of people have been reaching out saying, hey, like if I want to degenerately trade it, where could I go? I wanted to share this with you. Might be of interest. You can get up to 100x leverage. I'm not saying that's appropriate for probably anyone, because if you're at 100x leverage and it goes down 1%, that means that your entire trade's blown out. But maybe just something for you to consider. If you use the code Goonie, they are actually going to give you like a 20% deposit match for commissions. So you could trade at first, basically based on your whatever your match is, effectively for free, and you're not going to have to pay those. So feel free to check it out. I'll link it, but this is where some people are actively trading. I'm seeing that's becoming more popular, but I do just want to take a quick second. Remember, not your keys, not your coin. Maybe don't leave all your crypto on exchange. Get your trade in, and then when you're happy, store it in a place that's a little bit more safe. So yeah, if you want to actively trade, if you want to be a degen about it, you can make a lot of money because there's a lot of volatility, but maybe be a bit more mindful of protecting your actual downside. And obviously, wish you best of luck with it. Let me know how it goes.